And I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on, gentlemen.
I have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
he said, "I'm with many police officers," as he flashed a fake badge. I can't get over it, man. What a fucking psychotic planet. What is happening in America? What's going on? And yet, the fact that they even had that conversation prior, the fact that they had this conversation prior where they were like, hey, you can't use your prop. We told you, you can't use your prop, blows my fucking mind. Okay? Which means him and his team went up to the fucking moderators and were like, hey, Herschel Walker, he's a little crazy. You know how it is. He might flash a fake cop badge. Now that is impersonating a law enforcement officer, is a federal crime. Could you make sure that our fucking, like, mentally not all there candidate doesn't get himself in trouble on stage? And the moderator's like, sure, we'll figure it out.
police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker, please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
That's so funny. Like, she saved his ass. She straight up saved his ass, dude. That's wild to me. Like, you know the rules. You know the rules. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. While he's like trying to explain why he is a cop. Why would you do that?
Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker. Please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir. Yes. I ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a prop. This is real. And he said, I have a problem. I never worked with law enforcement.
It is considered a prop, Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally trying to say, no, I did work in law enforcement. And she's like, sir, shut the fuck up. Like, she's one step away from being like, you're blowing it. Herschel, you're fucking blowing it, dog. We had a deal, Herschel. What's going on right now? What's happening? Live drafting? Yeah. Anti too quick with it. Were you expecting progress? No, man, I wasn't expecting progress. I was just expecting, like, some fucking content at least.
You're very well aware of the rules, aren't you?
Well,
aren't you aware of the rules?
He brought up the truth, and let's talk about the truth.
Thank you for putting that prop away. And as a matter of fact, we still have a lot to get to.
I hope the takeaway is the badge thing, and it is remembered. It is remembered as like the main takeaway here, but But yeah, DID can't be fucking cured. Like, you can get help with treatment, but you can't cure it, for the record. That's the only time she pressed him. She didn't actually press him. She saved him. That's the problem. She saved his ass. She literally told him to put the fucking prop away like we discussed prior. She was doing damage control. Look, dumbasses are like, it's not a prop, it's real. Bro, it's a prop in that circumstance because he's not a fucking law enforcement officer. That is not the own you think it is. You're literally playing into it being more illegal. Your Honor, in my defense, I'm wearing an actual police officer's clothes as I was pulling someone over. Okay, these are real police officer clothes. They're not fake. This badge, real. Belongs to an actual cop. Okay? But also,
President
Warnock, I've not spent a minute thinking about what politicians should run for. That was crazy. Would you support President Biden running for a second term in 2024? And then he couldn't give a good answer to that. Okay? He couldn't give a good answer to that. And then he hammered him again.
Biden running for a second term in 2024.
I've not spent a minute thinking about what politicians should run for what in 2024.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yeah, so he's like, is that a yes or a no?
The answer is I have not.
Would you support President?
Moderator, remember when we agreed backstage you weren't a police officer no matter how many domestic abuse allegations you have, Mr. Walker? Sir, please shut up. The mediators were fucking psychotic. He could have just easily said, whoever's the best person for Georgia, I will support because I only care about the people of Georgia. That's who I am beholden to. Oh my God. The Fetterman-Oz debate is literally going to be like, the moderator's going to call Fetterman the R word. You know what I mean? Like, they're literally going to be like, first of all, appropriate ableism when you have cognitive functions that literally render you unable to operate a vehicle or, you know, be in a position of office like Dianne Feinstein. That's appropriate ableism, okay? Or, of course, CTE like Herschel Walker. That's appropriate ableism. Inappropriate ableism is when you can't hear and then people try to turn that into appropriate ableism with respect to running for office, which is what they're doing to Fetterman right now. They're literally going to fucking call him the R word, okay, on stage. They're going to be like, Mr. Fetterman, Lieutenant Government, sir, many people are saying you are R-worded. How do you feel about that? Yes or no? You're going to say, sir, your brain is no good, actually. One of his DID alters a cop stop being ableist. You have 4 seconds to respond. You can't read! Diabetics gotta eat right. That was crazy. Type 1 diabetes gotta eat right.
Cost of insulin. He said he would not have voted for the Inflation Reduction Act, and I think he should.
He started off really well. This was a fucking strong point. He could have just, he was like, why? Why do you want insulin to be so expensive? He could have repeated that multiple times too. Repetition is not as big as a problem as you think it is. As Mehdi Hassan also correctly pointed out, people are going to be like, people are going to remember the 96%.
should tell the people of Georgia why he thinks they should have expensive insulin and why the pharmaceutical companies should be able to charge us whatever they like.
Well, first of all, may I respond? You know, I believe in reducing insulin, but at the same time, you got to eat right, because he may not know, and I know many people that's on insulin, and unless you have eating right, insulin is doing you no good.
That's a crazy take. The fuck do you mean unless you're eating right, insulin's doing you no good? No, man, it's surviving. You're surviving. You're not dying, brother. And there are people who just like, no matter how well they eat, you're still going to fucking die if you don't have it. Like type 1 diabetes, man. What the fuck? This man said Blastoise, die. That's what he said. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just eat good. Oh, it doesn't work? Okay, you're dead now. CNN reporter, K-File's my dude, though. I don't know if that debate changed anything, but the weird thing with the badge is definitely going to be what probably breaks through to people who didn't watch.